What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the brand new Patreon podcast, Gun to Our Heads. Episode 4, and my guest on episode 4 is the hilarious Mike Cannon, who you know from his hilarious special. What's the name of the special again?
Life Begins.
Life Begins, which you shot at the Cellar, which is killer. They can get it on YouTube. It's a fantastic special. Appreciate and you know, Mike's been on other podcasts of mine. You guys know and love him, and we have a hilarious gun to our heads for you today. So for the people that don't know, what we do on the show is we have literally kind of an argument, or there's a choice where you have to answer it like there's literally a gun to your head and this is how you have to live. You know, that's it. So if it's pizza or steak, or if it's, you know, what we're going to talk about on this one. So the question for episode 4 with Mike is, Mike and I both have kids. We both have wives. We're kind of family men. And the question was, gun to your fucking head. Okay. You get caught. The whole community knows you and your family, loves you and your family. You get caught cheating on your wife. It's crushing. It's a small community. Your kids know. All the kids' family, friends know. And you lose your family that way. Or you don't cheat on your wife and you get caught jerking off in public, like in a Kohl's parking lot, like, you know, at a weird time of day. They're like, what's going on? And you have that on your plate. So gun to your head. Mike, I ask you, gun to your head. If that happens, which way are you going? Are you cheating on the wife, or are you jerking off in the parking lot?
I'm jerking off in the parking lot. I mean, and it's not even close. So much so that when you posed this to me before, I was like, oh, we're going to have the same answer. And then you said the opposite. And I was like, what? Like, here's the thing, dude, you've been in the suburbs for a bit. So you kind of understand how the mechanisms work in the town and, you know, neighbors and all that stuff. I'm brand new to fresh air and kind of having my family be out there in a small town vibe. Some dude down the street got my wife's package the other day and like wrote on the South Orangetown parents, does anyone know Nicole Cannon from Blauvelt? And like, it became this weird small town thing where 17 people texted my wife. Her father was involved. Like, what the fuck is this? All this stuff that if any news was reverberating around the town about me, I'd want to kill myself, dude. I can't handle the political nature and news flow of suburban America. And I could handle it if my family is like isolated against it and away from it. So if my wife was on my side and she's like, listen, I just understand that you sometimes have to beat one off when you see a good sale on khakis and Kohl's. You know, she's like, the other thing would be like, she's now turned against me as part of the town.
Right. I get that, but here's my thought process on this. You know, if I walk into the gymnasium, right, and it's my son's playing basketball, and everybody knows everybody. If I walk in and they're like, yo, and they lean over, because everybody's gonna be talking. I'm late. Let's say I'm 15 minutes late. My kid's fucking playing. The first quarter's still going on, and there comes Mr. Virzi comes walking in, and everybody knows me. I think I would rather them lean over and go, dude, he got caught cheating. Because here's why. As opposed to, yo, did you hear? Yeah, dude, he was jerking off in fucking Walmart. But here's why. Here's why. Because they don't know. Let's just say, Mike, my wife and I were having issues. Sure. Let's just say. So, like, I almost feel like at least if the community hears cheating, they might be like, oh, some shit was going down that we didn't know about. Where if I'm jerking off at Stop and Shop, or like if I'm just like, you know, behind a sandwich shop whacking off and you know, it's almost like what the questions are like, wait a minute, why was he at Kohl's? Was it the kids department?
Well, the best part about both of these is that the woman is partially to blame either way. So
maybe
if you're cheating, it's what's going on at home. What did she do to make him seek another woman? And then, you know, if
that's
you're
fucking funny. Like, yeah, no matter what it is, it's like, dude, she sucks. I knew she sucked.
But this is my argument against the basketball gymnasium example specifically.
Okay, please.
So it is kind of nice to maybe be like, oh, that's Paul, that's the guy that was laying pipe, outside of his wife. So there's kind of like almost a positive reverberation going around, and I totally understand that. You're almost like you can kind of peacock into the crowd and just be like, yeah, that was me. The one vagina doesn't work. I need multiple vaginas in my life. But if I'm looking into a packed gymnasium, let's say everything's open, I go in with a big ass jacket and people clear the fucking way and they let me get any seat I want because the fear of me beating off in the middle of this game is so great that they can't risk it.
Oh, that's fucking fun. This is how fucked up times are, that you actually put COVID in this and you were like, well, listen, what's the capacity? Because listen, the gym's not going to be filled. So if it's only like 25 parents, I think, dude, that is so fucking funny. You made a good point though. Yeah, because the one thing that I didn't even think about on my argument is, it's almost like, wow, he was still appealing to somebody else because like, I just feel like the jerking off, there's a lot of questions. And here are the questions, right? The questions are, if the guy got caught jerking off if you got caught jerking off in a Kohl's, let's be serious for a second. Yeah. If a cop drove past you at Kohl's and they're like, and there's like, oh, there's a man in the car. We see his hat, but we don't know what's going on. and a cop drives by, and you get caught jerking off at 3:00 in the afternoon in a Kohl's parking lot, the questions are, and I think the questions that other people have is, A, this definitely wasn't the first time.
Right. Yeah.
If you're jerking off in a parking lot and you get caught, it's rare that it's probably time number one.
Right. And Kohl's parking lot is a veteran public jerk off move. You're going behind, like into the woods for your first couple goes, and then you get confident.
Yeah, you got to build up until you're like, dude, I think I can, I could be out of the woods now.
Yeah, you're just parked under a lamp. Like you're the only car in the parking lot under a street lamp.
Dude, it's like when a drug addict is like, they're a little more open about it because they just need it.
Yeah.
So I think the question is, how many times has this guy done this? And A, why is he doing it in public? Why is he in Kohl's?
Right.
Or at Walmart. So like, is he looking at things, right? That's the other thing. It's like, if this motherfucker's at 3:00 and he's beating his dick in a fucking in a plaza, in a strip mall, then is he looking at a store? Is he watching somebody? So those are the things that I just think I would rather have. I might even rather have it than, oh, he's a piece of shit who cheats on his wife. Let's say my wife was cool.
Yeah.
If my wife was cool and there's no way, like she talks about how their sex life is great. Like if everything was good and this guy still strayed, I just think like, dude, he keeps going to that coffee shop or something.
Here's the weird thing about what I'm kind of considering is that the jerk off thing, it almost like how it's received almost depends on what kind of car you get caught in. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like if you're driving if you're like in a 92 Civic with like a hub, 3 hubcaps and 1 rusted left front wheel, and you're just like, the shocks are out of control, and the only reason you got caught is because it looked like you were like, on a shit boat on the water. Right. Then that's like, what the fuck is with this dude? He's got a terrible car. But if you're in a high level, maybe Lexus or a Mercedes, somebody pulled up just to make sure you're okay because they noticed the muffler exhaust, even though your lights were out.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep the heated seats on.
But, or you just brought something up, Mike, or is it worse? Because what I'm saying is, if you're in a piece of shit car, is it expected?
Right.
Like if you're sitting in a Bugatti, just fucking, people might go, dude, what this guy's got money. like if you're sitting in like a Lambo doing it, but if you're in like a fucking, like you said, if you're in like a 94 Dodge,
but that's almost like hearing Mick Jagger fucked a dude where you're like, wait, what? Like why he could have any woman he wants. And you're like, yeah, and he just chose a dude because he was sick of everything. So if I'm driving a Bugatti, a $500K car, and I get caught jerking off, people are going to look at that as been like, this guy has reached the end of his imagination and is now just going back to basics, beating off in a parking lot.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think we're both right here, and here's why. I think we're both right. I think if there's never going to be any repercussions afterwards, then you're right, because you still have a then you said you would jerk off. Yeah, you'd still have a family. I think the fact that the things you have to do after. Right. So taking away the school, dude, if I got to go teacher parent conference, oof. I got to go to teacher parent conference now. And I'm sitting there and the teacher's like, oh, okay, here's Lucas's folder. And I'm like, yeah. And she's just looking at me like, how are things at home? And I'm just like, you know.
You're just wearing gray sweats with a perfect outline of your cock.
How are things at home? Well, that's hilarious. Yeah. So I think that keeping my family is ideal, right, in what you're saying. But I just think of the afterlife of reliving delis, going to get breakfast. So I think that's what it is. So ultimately, I would like to do what you say, but I just think the ramifications of, dude, jerking off in public, there's really no kind of, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right? I mean, my buddy got caught banging on a playground. And it was the cop thought he had a pedophile because he was like kind of covering the chick or whatever, and she was a tiny girl, and the cop like came out fucking gun drawn, and it was like 8 p.m. and my buddy was like, ah! And then the lady was like, yeah. You know, the cop was able to keep a secret, but
like, no, dude, she likes monkey bars. It's dude, yeah.
Well, that's also another added bonus of cheating, right? Is which is hilarious to say. So but if funny. Say you get a divorce, you want to remain in the town. You've gone through the scandal, but you're still, you're a dedicated father. So you want to remain in the co-parenting thing. You stay in the town, or even move one town over. I think that's going to resonate with a lot of the dried up women of both your town and the town over. If the rumor reaches, you are going to have no issues picking up some collateral tale.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying like, oh, this guy was desired. What's going on with him?
Yeah.
That's
whereas that it's tougher for me to rebound.
Dude, when you said your friend, Mike, I was like, no, because you started with, dude, my friend, he got caught in like playground, and I was like, dude, was he jerking off on a playground? No kids, just
I got kind of stopped in a mall park, actually the Palisade Center. This is years ago when it first opened, and my friends and I, like before there were all stores there, we used to go in high school and we'd get like hand jobs in the dark corner of the mall because they haven't filled it with stores yet. And then eventually it graduated to like we'd just be in the parking lot catching hand jobs. And this one, like, I forget if it was a cop or mall security. I don't know. It had lights on top and it was an SUV, but it was comical in the sense that this guy drove past the car and I guess either caught me bottomless or whatever with this girl just like, trying to rip a turnip out of the ground. And he just stopped, whizzed back, and like rolled down his windows and goes, "Everything okay here?" And I like, I had like my cock coming out of the top of my denim and, just trying to get everything back in order. And he didn't care what I had to say. He was looking at the woman and she was like, "All set," like we're good. And he's like, "All right." Just
she's like, "Can I finish here, officer?" No, dude, that is fucking, yeah. But see, you're a hero then.
Right. Yeah,
you're a hero in the community then, in your group,
right?
If you're in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, wherever you are in that part, and you get a dude, fucking Mikey was fucking, they went to Modell's, a kid caught a fucking handy getting socks, or that's a big thing. I mean, I just feel like, and then what do you do when you have a beer with the other dads, or like if you're in a poker game?
I mean, I think if anybody can understand,
be like, guys,
gotta get it out. Sometimes the demon becomes too much.
I think that sexual shit in public is definitely it's deviant in a way that's like a little, it's beyond fetish for me. I just think like if I hear, oh, dude, he's a great guy, but he was jerking off like in this parking lot, I think that there's other things too. Like,
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Well, because it's like one of those things. It's like almost like the mask argument where it's like, listen, you're perfectly free to do whatever you like as long as it doesn't affect me. But if you're jerking off in public, then it becomes a public health issue.
right.
You know what I mean? Then it actually affects other people. So it's no longer your freedom to jerk off when you're actually.
So yeah, because the entire parking lot becomes almost like contaminated with this perversion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because even if you're a couple aisles over,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're a couple aisles over and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, did you hear? And then it kind of just puts like a little bit of a dark cloud on the establishment out front.
Oh, you've sullied their corporation for good. Yeah. For sure. I mean, especially in this town, like I'm sure Kohl's as a franchise could get through it, but I mean the West Nyack Kohl's or whatever, they're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah, or like a 5 and Below, which is one of the lowest places on fucking.
Is that what, you're just like a 2-year-old kid that crawls into the coat rack and you just fucking hammer it out while your mom shops?
If you ever want to see the lowest, it's literally like, the way like yard sales get the lowest. Have you been to a 5 Below?
I mean, I've seen it from outside. I've never entered.
Dude, when you go into a 5 and Below, it's like, because it seems as though all the shit is like good and up to date, and you're like, wow,
Right.
It's only $5, but it's just always a little off.
It's like the Mohegan Sun in Poconos.
It's just it's like, and it's just fat people with like, and they have 5-pound bags of like it's those 5-pound bags of Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
So,
oh,
like,
no.
You could get it for like $5, and like people are just psyched. And then they'll have like a phone case, but like the case is just like harder, shittier plastic. But dude, when I tell you it is packed, and you're just like, dude, this is like, it's like everybody that loved Tiger King, like, because I'm actually, Mike, I'm not even joking about this. I truly believe this is 100% not trying to be funny. I really actually thought about this way too long, and we've had time. I believe that seeing where society is now, I truly believe that the phenomenon, which was in our country, the Tiger King, I believe how good that did and how obsessed people got with it is a temperature gauge of where we have gone as a society, where it's like, okay, I could deal with you like the Kardashians. You like to see some drama. You like to see some chicks that put fucking Botox in their fucking cheeks every week, and they drive fucking, they're tired of their Rolls Royce after a month on a lease. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. They're fucking basketball players. Like, which team does he play for?
Who doesn't want to?
Yeah, it's like, I'll give you that. I'll even give you Desperate Housewives of fucking Jersey, because they got. Yeah. But when I saw the phenomenon, when I saw the amount of people that I even love, talking about this, and I'm just going, oh, dude, we are fucked.
Well, I think also because a lot of people, and I think you may have had a similar awakening during this entire process. A lot of the people that we're friends with watched it as like, oh my God, isn't this crazy? And then a lot of people, I think probably the majority of people, saw themselves a little bit in each of the characters. Yeah. So that's like a troubling reason to like it, where you're like, you identify with this fucking mullet? Like, what? Yeah. How insane is that?
Yeah, like I watched it as if, okay, wow, this is kind of interesting. Like, I watched it as like, oh, this is kind of an interesting doc. It's kind of fucking gross, and it's kind of crazy that there was like a fucking murder plot. And
the guy is like, raping straight men.
Yeah, like
he's drugging and raping straight men and convincing them they're homosexual.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was just like, and the way people were like, this is the greatest thing. But now that brings me back, because we only have 5 minutes left. This is actually, I didn't even plan this, but it's gonna work out. If you asked the cast of Tiger King this question, I think the majority of them would be like, so he's jerking off in public. So what, man? You know how many cats I jerked off on? So it's like, I think, but listen, like I said, I can't say you're 100% wrong. You're a guy that wants to keep his family. You're a guy that, you're looking at it like maybe there's an explanation. So let me ask you that question. What would the fucking explanation for that be?
That, I have a son. I'm with my wife. I'm currently living with my in-laws. I've had to be a fucking jizz ninja for the last 8 months. I've had to find dark nooks of the house and crank out 1.5 tugs. Like I've had to become LeBron level efficient just to be able to come in the greater part of a year. So, you know, I needed some time to spread my fucking legs. I put the seat back and I thought I had some time in the dark Kohl's parking lot, but apparently 5-0 checks it out for no goddamn reason.
I love how you're saying all this as if you didn't have a shower.
I'm tired of weatherproofing the tile in the shower.
Oh, fuck, dude. I got tears in my eyes. Oh, that is fucking. You're just like, what's a guy? Can a guy get out of the house and just rub one the fuck out? I don't need to be home anymore.
That's right.
Oh, dude, that is fucking so funny. Yeah. I mean, listen, let's be honest. Either is a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, either is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Either is a fucking nightmare.
I just think I'd feel worse if I got caught cheating. Like, I'd just be like, whatever, you know, yeah, all right, that was an embarrassing moment for me. But if I got caught cheating, not only is it the embarrassment in the moment, but then, you know, it's the relentless emotional trauma that I've caused the people that I love.
Yeah. Dude, when I was in high school, I went to high school and there was this is a true story, man. It's actually sad. There was a group of teachers who apparently during breaks, there was a porn account. And during breaks in the office, they just found like an account of porn on a laptop in the office in like the teacher's lounge. And
right.
One guy took a fall, but they said it was multiple. Like one of the teachers, I think he was a coach, and he was a good dude. He was a good dude. He was actually a good dude. And, you know, I think he was a coach of maybe the baseball team. And he was like the fall guy in the neighborhood. And it was like, yo, there was a porn account, and like they put on, but then after he obviously fucking had to get exiled out of there, there was like, no, dude, it was multiple teachers' accounts and everything like that. And,
so wait, they were posting videos?
No, like I think what happened was, I think the school, because you got to understand, this is the mid to late 90s. So there was they probably had a porn account. Cause like back then, a porn account back then was like, yo, dude, you could see porn. Now it's like you could go, you know. So I think they found in the lounge or the teacher's lounge or whatever, they found this account, and there was like apparently some teachers that were going to it. Who knows what they were doing. And one teacher, and he was a coach, and he was a good guy. Brutal, man, had a student in the school and everything. But when he left, you found out that it's like, oh man, he took the fall.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of teachers jerking off during the break.
He hurt lockered it. He jumped on the grenade.
He did more in a locker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my buddy got caught jerking off in high school in the bathroom.
Wow.
And he used to do this all the time and talked about it really openly. And I guess a teacher overheard him and watched him go into the bathroom and told the security guard to check it out. They heard the old, you know, the mac and cheese noise, and they just like ripped him out. And the way he got over it, that became less of a story because he like stole 5 computers. So he just beat himself in a crime and was like, all right, you know, I'm not going to be known as the beat off guy. At least I'll be known as the computer heist dude.
He's making a deal with the principal. He's like, look, dude, I'll take the fucking rap for the fucking, you know, you could say 10 computers.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We could look at it. Let's look at it like this. The celebrities that got caught doing both. Yeah. Who got caught cheating on their family? Was it Hugh Grant? Or no, Hugh Grant wasn't married, though.
No, Hugh Grant was with a prostitute, I believe.
He was with Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Timberlake got caught cheating on his family, and they stayed together.
Of course they did.
Yeah, I mean, she's an anti-vax maniac anyway. So
wait, who's that? Oh, wait, he got caught cheating on Jessica Biel?
Yeah. This is like while they're married. This is, I think, 8 months ago, 10 months ago.
Who got caught jerking off in public? Was it Pee Wee Herman, and who else?
Pee Wee Herman wasn't even in public. He was in a porn theater in New York, and they saw him go in, and they.
Well, that is kind of public, though.
Yeah, you know, but that's what it's made for. It's like saying you're not supposed to heckle from the bleachers.
You're like, dude, it wasn't public. He was at the opera. It's like.
He had his own booth, for Christ's sake.
I mean, dude, a guy like fucking Jersey Boys. No. So, yeah, but you're right, though. He is in a dark theater.
Yeah.
He's in a dark theater doing that. But there was another one recently. There was one recently.
I mean, for sure. You know.
Oh, wait a minute. No. What's his name? Oh, rest his soul. So Fred Willard. Was Fred Willard?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did, yeah.
He passed away. You guys know him from Anchorman and all that stuff. But, yeah. But, and you know, that kind of came and went. And I think the older you are, you get a pass.
Yeah, you might have just thought it was your home.
You know, like, yeah, like you just...
But it's like Rip Torn breaking into that bank with a gun and just being like, "This is my house. Get the fuck out!" And they're like,
Dude,
"This
might
is a
have
bank."
thought it was your home is so funny. You're like, I thought I was in my living room. I'm dementia. You just throw that out there.
You give a completely lucid response. You're like, "Sorry, comes and goes."
You're completely fine. No. Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. Was there a celebrity that got caught? No, you know what it is. All the celebrities that got caught cheating. You're right. They end up working it out.
Yeah. Well, because there's probably some sort of financial incentive, obviously.
Ooh, I got one.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
That's how do we let the biggest? Yeah. So I mean, with him it's different though. It was like 17 women.
Yeah, that we know about.
Yeah, he had like porn star like going to different rooms of like his. He took it to a level.
You got love.
Yeah, he took it to a level that was like, all right, dude, like she's right.
Elite golfer, elite sexual deviant. The guy who would like crush up Ambien, put it in a wet tissue, and then shove it up his ass. I mean, that guy is Tiger Woods is the best.
That guy is fucking. And the funniest thing is like the thing with his dad. You ever see the speech? He's like, I get emotional talking about my son, what he's going to give to this world as far as humanity. And then, and listen, Tiger's a good, you know, he's a beast. But that was, yeah. So would you rather be Pee Wee Herman or Tiger Woods? I mean, listen, you have a point. I have a point. I don't think any of us can take an L on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an L to be given on this one because both are horrible and both have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
So I guess we could end it by saying, don't cheat on your wife and don't jerk off in a parking lot in public.
Or do both.
Or have your wife jerk you off.
That's right.
That'd be a fucking weird fetish, right?
Oh, super bizarre.
Like you're just in therapy and she's like, he just wants me to keep going to Jersey Mike's.
And dry.
Mike, dude, thank you so much for doing Gun to Our Heads.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
No, there's going to be episodes every week of these ridiculous arguments with some of the funniest people out there. You can get Gun to Our Heads for a $5 subscription on Patreon only. That's patreon.com/capital GTOH. Check out Mike Cannon, all of his socials. Check out where he's going to be. Super, super funny guy. Good friend of the show. Good friend of mine. And I will see you guys later.